I want to share with you 10 things I don't share with you when you go to fashion designing college or dressmaking or pattern making schools, because it's all about teaching you a skill that you're going to perhaps and most likely go into a company and work for a boss. But what if you are an entrepreneur and it's just absolutely in your blood, and you know that you've got what it takes to actually start your own business? And let's say you've now finished your designing course, and now what? You can't find a job. They don't teach you how to actually set up a business. They might teach you very small little aspects of marketing and merchandising, which you probably could be using if you are working for a boss. But what if you're going to turn this into your own business? They don't show you or teach you how to actually set up a business, or even think about the possibility of you becoming, a fashion empire one day. Okay, let's look at the 10 things. The first thing is setting up a business. Now, setting up your own business can be overwhelming. It can be, nerve-wracking, but it can also be motivating and exciting because you know that you've got what it takes to make it happen. So once you've actually finished your fashion designing academy course, etc., it's natural that you just want to make clothes, you want to design because you're creative and you just want to explore your creativity. So you start making garments, you make samples, you start dressing more and more like a designer. People take note, they love what you're wearing, they love what you're doing, and then they ask you, can I buy it? I want what you've got. I love it. I love the way you combine your clothes together. I love the colors. I love the uniqueness. I love the creativity. So now you're facing this situation where people actually want to buy clothes from you. You have no idea how to actually finish off the garments absolutely beautiful and professionally, because at designing school it was just about getting the sample out to make sure your pattern fits correctly. Now it's a different market completely, because now you have to make things where people are actually charging. You're charging people, so you're making clothes for someone and you're getting paid. So that means that you have to up your game and up your standard. So this is natural because now you are creative and you want to start making clothes to sell. So they don't teach this to you in designing school, how to actually package, to perfect your garment, how to actually sell it, and it's not just making the garment. It's about lots of other things. It's about your name tags, it's about your sizing, it is about your washing instructions, it's about how you're packaging the garment to give it to your client, to become more professional. Alright, so they don't teach you in college, how to actually, market yourself and about advertising. Because when you go work for a company, the company normally has their own department that does the marketing and advertising, or they source that out and they pay professionals to do it for the company. Or they even have salespeople going out, and actually selling their collection, to other buyers, like other chain stores or boutiques, etc., etc. Or they have an online e-commerce site which they've actually paid people to get that up and running and pay monthly advertising, which they also, pay professionals to do that. So you basically just do the design element. But now you're an entrepreneur, which means you have to do all these things yourself. Okay, so they don't show you about how to price your garments. You're just designing and you are creating the patterns, because that is the skill that you are learning. Because if you are working for a company in a designing factory or manufacturing type of business, they will work out the costings for you. You're just the designer. So if you're now starting your own business and you need to know how to cost your own garments, and that's just costing, it's also about production. So when you go into production, you make one garment as a sample first. And then from the sample, they will work out how many orders they're going to get, and per order, what materials they need to resource and purchase beforehand to go into production. And that works out, your costings, for everything that is in that one particular design, that needs to be pre-costed and worked out the expenses before the company actually goes into production, to work out, can they afford it, is a good profit margin, and also they need to plan it. So they need to purchase all these products up front, so that when production starts, they have all the materials. There's no delay because they already have all the production materials and fabrics, etc., already within the actual factory. To have a tech pack. So if you are going to, start a sample, and you need to know exactly what the sample looks like, what fabrics you're going to be using, how much materials you're going to be using, and intricacy of the making up of the sample, which will be given to the production line, so they know exactly what steps they need to take to produce this garment to be precise to the actual sample. And in the tech pack won't just include the one sample's information. It'll be all to do with the costing, how long it took to sew, the layout, the cutting, how much material was used. So all the information will be put together with the sample, which will go into production, especially if you are going to be handing it over for someone else to do production for you. If you're going to do it yourself, you need to know what that one garment entails to go into a production. Things that you need to pre-plan before the time. You've got to understand your market. You've got to understand your niche market. You need to understand what kind of profit margin are you going to be putting onto your garments, so that you can identify what type of market you're going to be going into. Whether it's going to be, like for mass production, a lower, cheaper cost, middle class, upper class, more exclusive, extremely exclusive, where how to, also speak to people. You need to know how to interact with people and understand, what they want. You can't always enforce your designs onto them because it might not suit them. Your style might not be their particular fashion style. What colors would suit them? This goes back to, understanding a bit of image consultancy. To be an image consultant, it's also about being a bit of a fashion stylist, to understand different styles that will suit different personalities and people's lifestyles and people's needs. So becoming a designer, you need to actually adapt and learn as many skills as you can, so that you can become the best version of yourself to offer so much more to your clientele. Well, I hope that helped you. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up, share this and subscribe to actually see more of these videos around creating, sewing and fashion into a business. And also I provide a lot of online courses that you can actually, go through, learn new skills to add to your business or to open up your own business. Until next time, rock your style.